This video is on factoring quadratics. We are going to be focusing on the MacAb method. MacAb is when we have three terms. We're going to be factoring. What MacAb stands for is multiply A and C. And then we want to find the values that add to B. So multiply A and C and find the values that add to B. We're going to be focused on quadratic trinomials. So again, MacAb is used for trinomials. Another name for MacAb, you might hear it as, it's called the AC method. So it means the same thing as the AC method. A quadratic trinomial, the quadratic is when we have that x squared, your highest exponent is that squared. Trinomial means that there are three terms. So the definition of a quadratic trinomial is an expression of the form ax squared plus bx plus c. Now, the ax squared is your quadratic term because it's the part with the x squared. The bx is your linear term, and your c is your constant. So the values that are attached to them are what we're looking at. So the a is the numbers, the coefficient of your quadratic term. Your b is your coefficient of the linear term, and your c is the actual constant value. So when we're factoring using the MacAb method, the first step is to always find the GCF of the original. This is always true. So what you want to do, GCF of the original, is you always want to make, if it's not already, make the a value positive. So if your ax squared is negative, your GCF will have to include a negative. And you'll divide that out from the original. GCF, again, always find your GCF, no matter what. No matter how you factor, you always find your GCF. So the steps of MacAb, the first step is to multiply A and C values. What we're going to do is we're going to draw a half box on the side over here, and we're going to multiply what the values of A and C are. We're going to put that on top, whatever that A times C value becomes. Even if it's positive or negative, we have to make sure we know what our A value is and our C value is, and we will multiply these two. Then, on the side of the box, on the right-hand side of the box, we're going to put whatever that B value is. So even if it is a positive or a negative, we're going to put that B value on the side. Then, inside the box, this half box, we're going to list out sets of two numbers that multiply to the top and just put them inside here. So this is where you would put a number times a number. Now it does say don't worry about positive or negative signs right now. So let's say that this number was 30. We would put 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10, 5 times 6. We would just write out all of the factors of those numbers. We just put out the numbers. We don't care about the positive or negative right now. Once we have them all listed out, we go to step 3. This is the Mac part. Step 3 is the AB part. We're going to find the set of two numbers that also combine, so that's the add and subtract, to the number on the right side. So this is where we're going to look at the plus or minus. So what we'll do is we'll determine, can these two numbers add or subtract any way to get to the side? Then can these two numbers add or subtract in any way to get to the side? So we're going to go through all of them. If there's no way they could add or subtract to the side, we're just going to cross them out. If there's multiple ones that are possible, that's fine, because what we have to do is we have to make sure that the sets of numbers that we choose with the signs will still multiply to the top. So we have to make sure that if we have positives and negatives, that they will still multiply to the top and add to the side to the correct values. Once we have figured out the numbers, once we figured out the one set of numbers that will work for both the Mac and the AB, we're then going to place the numbers in the grouping box accordingly. So the first box, we're always going to put the original ax squared part, so whatever it originally said. In the next box, we're going to put one of the numbers from this step that we've determined which positive or negative sign goes with the number. We're going to put that in here with the variable or with the letter that it originally had. So if we have an ax squared, this needs to have an x with the number. In the next box, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to use the other number from step 3 to do this with the same letter. And in the last box, we're going to use the original C part from the original problem. And then we're going to factor by grouping. So again, factoring by grouping, we're going to take out the GCF from the first two from this first row, put it on the side. Take the GCF from the second row, put it on the side. Take the GCF from the first column and put it above. Take the GCF from the second column and put it above. And those will give us our two factors. So this is the method of using MacAb. We're going to do some examples as well in a later video.